my name is Patel, and I work at Miro. I'm the Director of Business Development. So I'm basically in charge of developing our earned income streams so that we're a nonprofit open source project, but the more users we have, it's possible that we can fund our own development like Mozilla does, basically, with Firefox. So my job is to figure out, how do we make some money with this in order to fund our mission.
What does you say, Miro or Miro?
Miro.
Miro stands for?
So Miro stands for an open and participatory internet. In particular, open and participatory video. So we believe very strongly that video is one of the most powerful communication mediums in the world, and as it moves online, there's a huge opportunity to transform the way it works. Currently and in the past, video has been dominated by large corporations and gatekeepers who have the huge finances needed to produce content and to get access to users through cable or whatever broadcast means are used. The internet is a fundamentally democratic forum, but the way it's evolving is that certain sites and certain programs, so iTunes is a good example, Juiced, and then so YouTube and all the big video hosts are kind of able to develop a system where they monopolize users and to monopolize content producers. So basically, they have control over both how it's watched and where it's stored. And so they can pretty much squeeze out of everyone. And so our goal is to develop a distributed system where Miro is a tool that lets you get video from anywhere online and aggregate it all in one place. And so the goal is that when all the users in the world would have a program like Miro that lets you get content from anywhere. So you don't aggregated by the user on their computer. So that they download the software, and it's like basically a web browser for video. And it includes BitTorrent functionality, an RSS aggregator, so it can download automatically shows that you like, and basically bring together all the shows and video content that you like from all over the web, so that you're not, when you think video, you think Miro, and that brings together a diversity of sources. Whereas when you think video, you think YouTube or Juiced or whatever, that's only one source. And so if people develop into getting used to only using one site, then that site can control everything. And they can censor, they can do whatever they like.
So how big is your community? When did you start?
We didn't launch. We started, we got some seed funding from a philanthropist and started working on it over 2.5, almost 3 years ago. So in 2005. And we basically started developing, it was then called the Democracy Player, and we started developing it along with several other projects for publishing video. And we've gradually developed it over time, and in November we launched version 1.0. It's now called Miro, as we discussed, and we now have about 400,000 users a month. So some, 50,000, 30 to 50,000 a day. And
what do you mean when you say user?
So someone who, we don't track people's behavior, but when they visit our content guide, we can see that. And so we see that 400,000 approximately unique people use the content guide each month.
And these are mainly end users like me.
Yes.
Are you also dealing with companies, or is this a tool for companies? What do they have to consider to use it?
So a company who wants to distribute on Miro can very simply put their video feeds into the content guide. It takes about 2 minutes to submit one. And then they'll have it'll be on Miro and accessible to anyone. We are working with companies to do custom versions of Miro that we call co-branded players. And basically it comes preloaded with all that company's content and features the content strongly and the branding. And so that's a way for companies to have basically their own version of iTunes that they can push to their users. So it's like, download this, and then you'll have access to all of our content in a very simple, easy to, very friendly, user-friendly fashion.
So is this compatible with the systems inside the company? So is it very easy to make it compatible?
Yes, it's already compatible because we use open standards. So we use video RSS, we use BitTorrent, we use standard HTTP downloads. So basically almost everyone can plug directly into what they've already got, and almost everyone's already using iTunes, and so it's a super simple plug and play.
So what are the tools? How can you find content?
So when you download Miro, the first thing you see is a content guide. And it's got some featured channels, and then you can browse and you can look at categories: music, art, nature, animals, technology, you name it. Probably there's not knitting, but there's many categories. And so you do that. But the problem is there's 4,000 channels, so yeah, it'd take like a year to go watch a show from every channel. So what we're doing right now is enabling a recommendation feature.
Okay.
So somewhat akin to what Netflix does, actually designed very much following what they do. But basically, if you go in and you can rate content, and so you can say, I like this, I like that, I like that, and then other people rate content as well, and then based on what they like and what you like, we match you up with similar interests and make recommendations to you.
Okay. Can you also tag?
Right now you can't tag.
Why?
Users can't tag. It's just, there's a million things that you should be able to do. We have a really small staff. And
okay, so our audience, we are mainly speaking to human resource managers in bigger companies. I mean, they need content. They need educational content. If you look at their problems, how would you recommend
using Miro? So you could very easily create, whatever website you have for distributing content, you could embed it in Miro, and you could pre-install all your feeds in Miro. And then, so if you have a bunch of people who are going to take, classes on whatever subject, process B, you can have all that content preloaded, and then Miro is the one application you can deliver to them, and you say, okay, all of your video content here, your courseware program for tracking your progress is pre-installed, because we have a browser in there as well. So it could be just a one-stop shop for delivering your content, managing the video content as well as the whatever website you have, as opposed to having people go to a website, download the videos separately, and figure out how to manage it all themselves. It can just do it all for you. So a simple argument is first that you're not going to invest that much because it's so simple to integrate and it's so cheap. So no matter what, you'll have spent a lot less money working with us than you will have with anyone else. And it's open source software, so you literally, for less money probably than you could get working with someone else, you could literally do it yourself. But honestly, the answer is we're a small but growing organization. We will have good support for companies in the future that we're developing. And
what are we going to see next on the platform? What's coming next?
I think the things we're focused on right now is improving the user experience. Improving the user experience from the very beginning. Right now what Miro is really good for is a context like what you described. So if someone already knows exactly what content they want to get, you get it. It's kind of like TiVo. It just downloads it for you automatically. So we need to make it, but if someone just hears about Miro and downloads it, they don't get an immediate immersive experience. They have to wait for things to download and browse through all 4,000 channels and choose the things they like. And so what we're doing is really pushing out immediate features. So web browsing in there, so you can quickly preview content and only download if you really like it. Enabling playback before something's finished download. That's just a simple thing that we don't have right now. Our main competitors and the main people in our space are Juiced, iTunes, Adobe with their Adobe Media Player product that they're going to roll out to everyone in the world soon. VO TV, Babblegum.
That's it. So what is your impression here from Republica? I mean, there aren't that many Americans here, so there is no translation when you...
So I'm not going to most of the speeches because I don't speak German, but most people do speak English pretty well actually. So I'm having lots of great conversations in the hallways and just learning from a lot of people. And we have 22% of our users actually are in German.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
And so we...
Here's a huge bank.
Yeah, I know. And so we're just meeting lots of great people and understanding how things work in Germany, and also just seeing a very vibrant, kind of bottom-up web culture here.